City Lab is an in-house service design and human-centered design team for local government. It sits within what we call the Smart City Office. And really the remit of City Lab and the Smart City Office is to try to help the city of Melbourne shift its thinking and be disruptive in an environment that is changing extremely fast, not only in regards to what technology is available to us and how we can actually engage with the community, but also the makeup of our community itself. As far as university and study, I studied ecology and environmental systems, as well as evolution, and took that study and ended up getting a master's degree in urban habitat management. And what that means was really the crux of that study was thinking about urban cities and city developments as ecosystems and trying to understand them from a system perspective. Leadership is a funny thing. It's a big word. The thing I love about Melbourne, Melbourne itself, we're a progressive city, and the stance we take is to try to lead within the local government sector, within the way we operate and what we do. Saying it is much easier than doing it. And one of our challenges from a City Lab perspective is helping to bring people onto the journey of working in a different way and questioning what they do. So we do, from a leadership perspective, a huge role that I need to play and that the team needs to play is how we help people see opportunity and to remove, I suppose, the fear of change and working in a different way and trying to explore how the services we provide might transform. And that's a really hard task because it's convincing people from all levels of the organization to take a bit of a step in a new direction. In particular, working in a design-led way, we don't know where we're headed. Or actually, we know where we're headed, but we don't know how we're going to get there and what it looks like when we do. And that can be a really scary thing from a government perspective. Certainty is valued. Risk mitigation is valued. And working, how you actually bridge that divide and helping people understand taking an iterative and testing approach to creating new services is something that we really need to work on to help people feel comfortable and confident to keep moving forward. From a government and just large organization perspective, traditional leadership, it's hierarchical, it's reactive, it's kind of command and control, and that worked really, really well in the past. You knew exactly what needed to get done. You could create linear processes to manage that, and you could continue to churn out the jobs that needed to get done on a day-to-day basis and manage risks in a reactive way quite productively. Things are changing so fast that form of leadership is just too slow, and the operational models that form of leadership manifests is also not really fit for purpose. So I think we need to shift to a more generative mindset, how we actually, the answers don't have to come from the top down, nor should they. How do we enable the entire organization to be a part of the process of actually trying to come up with new ideas and solutions that can respond to the daily new challenges that, especially from a city perspective, we face. So mindset is vitally important. How we bring people together, connect them on the work that we're going to do becomes quite critical. And again, similar to what I was talking about with leadership, our role as kind of the team that's embodying this new way of working, we need to live and breathe those mindsets ourselves, and to remind ourselves when we're falling out of perhaps being closed or applying our own expectations or assumptions. And so we have a really strong reflective practice to make sure that we're constantly in tune with each other, and the way that we're feeling across a project. One thing that does reflect for me is quiet reflection. It's hugely important in the way that I operate, um, and I find my best work, and the way that I can recharge where I'm at, and how if I reach a roadblock on anything that I'm trying to achieve, um, shifting my focus, uh, and immersing myself in something completely different, is usually where I get my breakthroughs. And I apply that both personally and professionally, in anything I do. Really tight time frames, big problems. The harder you focus on it, the faster you might get to an outcome. When in reality, sometimes the best thing you can do is to drop everything and walk away, um, and focus on something completely, um, mundane or different or more interesting. And that's when all of a sudden you found what you were searching so hard for. A lot of people, you can ask them what their core values are, and that's something that can be extremely hard to actually, um, know off the top of your head and feel really confident in, because it requires a lot of reflection, and it requires a lot of soul searching that not a lot of people have done. Um, and so I think speaking of leadership and mindset, that's another really important aspect, is actually just helping people understand what their internal compass looks like and where it's pointed, and how they use that to then actually apply to everything they do. I'm really, really keen, um, on us starting to completely shift the way that we think about the way that government serves the community. So, what do I mean by that? We often talk about a service being picking up waste or fixing a pothole, or, um, building a building, or, immunizing our children, whatever it might be. But for me, those are all tied into, um, higher level, understanding of service, where it's actually the value that we provide the community by making them safe, keeping them well, um, ensuring the city, is vibrant and lively. These are the elements of actually what we do as a public service, and how all of those disparate interactions and actions and activities and plans and strategies fit together is more important than anything else. And that's the best way that we're going to actually break down barriers and connect. Is, I'm trying not to use buzzwords like human centricity, but by deeply understanding how we add value and why that's so important to the community today, but also into the future, will actually start to hopefully, um, drive a huge shift in the way that we plan what government does, how it does it. Be patient. um, be confident. Um, Not egotistical. There's a difference. um, and share your passion, because it's those things that, attract people, build momentum, and actually enable you, to drive a movement. Like I said, and I'm taking a government perspective. Um, Really great. I've spoken to designers. I've read, some really, really great opinion columns. People can become quite frustrated by the need to massive stakeholder engagement, facilitating dialogue, and it can feel like, actually, I'm not designing. I'm not really focusing on doing and creating. I know. But in fact, it's hugely important, because those are future designers, future allies. That's the community that you're going to need for anything that you create to actually be used and successful. Um, so for me, having that patience and that enthusiasm to bring people on the journey, um, is so important when you're trying to shift systems and organizations and groups which have been working and operating in a particular way for quite a long time.